I think if I was going to choose my favorite world from this list, I would have to choose... Hey friends, I'm Ashley and welcome to Ash's Cozy Corner. About a year ago, I posted a video talking about the cozy game worlds that I would live in and some that I wouldn't. That was such a fun video for me to create, and my intention was to create a new one every single year with the new cozy releases. I went back and watched the first video, and some of the games I said we'd have to wait and find out what the worlds are like are actually going to be in this video. Of course, there are some games that look to have some amazing worlds to live in, but they are not released yet. Games like Puff Pals, Island Skies, Fae Farm, and Mail Time all look like they have wonderful, beautiful worlds to live in, but we'll have to wait until they come out to judge that better. And I think some of my answers might shock you. Bandle Tale actually just released, and well, I don't even need more time to think about it. I would love to live in Bandle City. There's actually not one reason that I can think of that would make me not want to live in Bandle City. To start, the world is complete fantasy from the environments to the characters. Everything about the world is so dreamlike, like the floating islands, beautiful waterfalls, and the flying cat, which I absolutely love. Everything I explore in the game is stunning, so of course I would want to live there. Knitting is a super cozy hobby, and with a 102-year apprenticeship to perfect just knitting magic, imagine the other possibilities for skills in Bandle City. I know nothing about League of Legends, however, I do know that Yordles live for an extremely long time and that they're even possibly immortal, so I mean, that's also a pro. I also immediately think about how many cozy hobbies I could take part in if I was living forever. To keep things interesting, if you're living forever, you can host food stands and parties on all different islands. I don't know if I've ever talked about this in a YouTube video, but I absolutely love hosting, so of course I loved this feature in Bandle Tale. I don't know if this next one counts as a world because it's technically just a room. However, even if it is just a room, I can imagine what it is like on the outside of that room. So I gotta mention it, and that would be Spirit City Lofi Sessions. As you all know, I've been using this game for months every time I work in my cozy room, and I constantly think about how peaceful it will be to be in that world. Think about it. The spirits are probably the cutest creatures I have ever seen. There are even more spirits that we don't even know about yet, but the ones we do know about are literally the best. Imagine you're just sitting by the fire and Hedgehog just appears out of nowhere, or you're beside the window reading on a rainy night and Drizzlefin swims up to you. And don't worry, they're all friendly. After you discover them and they become your companion, you can have them with you at any time. Hello, Hedgehog just chilling with you at all times. What a life. You can also change the weather and time of day to whatever you want, whenever you want, and let's be real, having that control is even more reason to make me want to live in that world. Afternoon sun all day until I go to sleep is a dream. Like I mentioned earlier, the only downfall is living in one room. However, I do like to imagine the outside as well, exploring Spirit City and being able to discover spirits outside, but since that's not technically in the game, I guess it doesn't count. The full version of Spirit City Lofi Sessions is releasing on April 8th over on Steam, and there's currently a demo of the game you can try out before it releases, so click the link in my description to go wishlist the game and try it out. Another world that seems absolutely perfect is Octopia from the Eastward DLC. I mean, clearly this world is a utopia. Nothing bad ever happens here. You just live with your friends, farm, and live life. But I could not live here. If you must know why, the one and only reason, Mother lives here. That is it. That is the reason. I guess I could mention some spoilers here and change my mind, but I'm just not going to. Octopia is a no from me. I do highly recommend playing Eastward Octopia though, even though I wouldn't live there because of Mother. Okay, so now let's talk about the beautiful lentil region of Pokemon Snap. This is a world I really, really want to live in, but I just don't know if I could. I guess this is a maybe not world. I seriously cannot make up my mind, and here's why. The thought of having Pokemon around is extremely cool. I think we can all agree on that. And the Lentil region, absolutely gorgeous. There are so many different biomes to explore, each with its own specific Pokemon. Of course, everything is cool and peaceful, just riding around in your very own bubble car, taking photos of Bidoof's booty, some sleeping Pokemon, and even taking photos of Pokemon playing together or feeding them. Sounds amazing, right? Well, yes, it does, until your bubble car breaks down. Seriously, what if that happened? That's where it would turn into a nightmare, and I don't know if I'd want to live in a world with Houndoom, Noivern, or Gengar. Actually, I wouldn't want to live in a world with any ghost-type Pokemon, even with my bubble car. I'm a certified chicken. Some of these Pokemon would rip us apart and shred us for dinner. See where I'm getting at? All is well with the little bubble car, but take that away, and researching Pokemon gets a little sketchy. Onto an extremely peaceful world with absolutely nothing scary that I would 100% live in, Grumblewood Grove from Mailtime. This world is the perfect world for any cozy gamer to live in. It's in a forest with all things designed cottagecore, and every step I took, I was more in awe at the beauty I was surrounded by. There's nothing scary at all in Grumblewood Grove, just cute friends that live around every corner. And their houses? Imagine having a watering can house. I can also promise you would never have a boring day living around Clarence, who I call the rocker bird, or Shelby, the funny turtle. Every character in Grumblewood Grove is sure to make you belly laugh every day of your life, and that's exactly what I need and would choose for a cozy life. Another bonus is that I could paraglide around anywhere I needed to go, not even having to worry about hurting myself, because there is none of that in Mailtime. That is something I cannot do in everyday life. You know, paragliding everywhere. And honestly, the job of a mail scout sounds pretty nice. I would be much healthier if I walked everywhere for my job too, so that's a win-win. So this is one that pains me. Like, seriously. My first thought was, yes, I would so live here, but the more that I think about it, it's actually a no. This pains me to say, but the cozy world that I would not live in is Azoria from Fae Farm. Let's start off with the people who live there. There was not one person that I would marry in Azoria. Not one. I would be a lonely bachelorette. That's not happening. Not only are the bachelors just so bad, I went on a date with one of them and he was rude. On the first date. The audacity of these Azorians. And to top it off, the people in Azoria are, dare I say, boring? Not one time did I think, man, the friendships and relationships I've built in Azoria have been worth my time, which is probably why I didn't build many relationships. Also, having to be the character that saves the town is pretty stressful in Fae Farm because honestly, the dungeons in combat are hard. Y'all, some of these jumbles are straight up out for blood. The statues in the floating ruins would probably be one of the most scary things to witness. You're just going through a dungeon and a statue literally comes to life and jumps in the air to slam down on your tiny fairy body. I'll pass, thanks. I think what makes it even worse is that the jumbles in Fae Farm are based on real life objects, so you would never know when something is just going to attack you. Don't get me wrong, being a fairy and being able to be around magical beings would be really cool, and the world of Azoria is truly beautiful, but for the reasons I listed, it's a hard no from me. Also, to be clear, like I mentioned with Eastward Octopia, I absolutely love Fae Farm as a game. I just don't want to live there. So I think if I was going to choose my favorite world from this list, I would have to choose Bandle City from Bandle Tale. Let me know if you would live in any of these worlds, or if you think I'm crazy for not wanting to live in a specific world. I'd also love to know if you have different games that you would live in or wouldn't live in down in the comment section below, as I love hearing all of your creative thoughts. And if you haven't seen the first video, I highly recommend going back and watching it. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Have a cozy day and God bless.